5 seconds. A large part of the work of a modern government has to do with science. It is only through science that we can transform into reality the hopes we have held out to our people. For many more years to come, the people will measure progress in terms of our ability to give them their basic needs. The agricultural scientist has a especially vital contribution to make to our plans of economic development. For years, the government has been persuading farmers to adopt new farming practices. It is only in the last 3 to 4 years that the response of villagers has overtaken the official efforts. The farmers have no doubt of city people and their new ideas. What has convinced there is what they have witnessed with their own eyes. Everywhere, farmers tend to be conservative and slow to change, but once they change, they are not content to be indifferent cohorts. The discovery of a new seed variety stirs rural people as much as a spacewalk or a transplanted heart does the more literate classes. Farmers today walk miles to buy seed. The great problem for the government is to find sufficient seed and fertilizer to meet their demand. What a change from the days when we could not get them to hear us or look at what we had to offer. Rural India has shed its indifference. Agricultural scientists can rightfully claim their share of the credit for bringing about the transformation, but they cannot rest there. The solution of one problem gives rise to many new problems. New varieties are being extended to vast areas because of the demand from farmers and our own race towards self sufficiency. This work is being done far too fast. Modern farming is a combination of many techniques and materials. It is not possible to adopt any one in isolation, disregarding the others. The scientist has a special responsibility to provide answers to the problems which are consequences of his own work. The greatest task before the agricultural scientist and before the government in general is to ensure that there is no setback in the new program. If, for example, widespread plant disease attacks the new varieties, the farmer's hard won trust in modern practices will be shaken and he might return into his shell or traditionalism. The average farmer does not have money to waste, nor can he afford undue risks. He will not experiment on his own unless he is certain that experiments have succeeded elsewhere. It is because our demonstration programs have been convincing that the cultivators have come forward in such large numbers today to use new varieties of seed and fertilizers. It is not the big farmer alone who has ventured forth. The small farmer's enthusiasm is even greater. To him, even a little improvement goes a long way. In the new agricultural program, he sees the opportunity to fulfill his numerous small needs which have been neglected. It is obvious that farmers will pay heed to the call for national self sufficiency only to the extent that the program makes a difference to their lives. How can we expect them to grow more for the nation if their additional efforts do not bring adequate reward to their own families? We, we talk of inputs, but in scientific agriculture, the most important input of all is the human input. Modern farming is a far cry from spreading the seed and leaving the rest to the sun, rain, and stars. The farmer has now to intervene constantly with nature, repairing its shortcomings, exploring its advantages, and forcing the pace. This calls for greater knowledge and training on the farmer's part. In truth, the administrative agency has so to derive farm information that even the nominally literate farmer can understand and utilize it. Advance will not endure if it is isolated. Additional effort in any one field must be matched by similar effort in others. Water, seed, fertilizer, pesticide, tools, credit, marketing, and education all form parts of the spectrum of change. Agricultural scientists, by which I mean not only agricultural engineers but also economists, have much to contribute to this coordinated agenda of progress. Dear sirs, we wish to have your advice regarding a rather delicate matter that has arisen in connection with one of our authors. In this letter, we shall not disclose the name of the writer, which is quite well known to the public, but will do so if you agree to act on our behalf. The position is as follows. Some 10 years ago, we accepted for publication a manuscript submitted by a new writer. The book seemed very promising indeed. We felt at that time that it was not like that work of a new and inexperienced writer. The man assured us, however, that he had not written other books and that he had no obligations to any other publisher. We accepted this assurance, and during the intervening years, we have published six books by this author. We have now recently discovered through a series of quite unusual coincidences that our author has for the past 15 years also has been turning out work for another publisher under a different name. Unfortunately, his agreement with the other publisher contains a clause which gives them the exclusive right to publish anything written by this man, as we acted in good faith when accepting the six manuscripts from the author. We do not know whether we have been guilty of any break of the law. So far as we are aware, the other firm of publishers have not yet learned of what has happened, but we think they are bound to do so shortly, and we therefore need your urgent advice. Are we in fact guilty in any way, and ought we to take it upon ourselves to inform the other publishers of the position? Our representatives would like to call upon you to discuss the matter in detail. Very truly yours.